His commitment to the principle of separation of power was resolute. He recognized the legislature as a co-equal arm of government, never seeking to dominate or undermine his authority. Indeed, he fostered a partnership that enabled us to fulfill our constitutional mandate. His directives to his ministers and agency heads to prioritize appearances before our committees during budget cycles exemplify this respect by insisting on their accountability to this House. He ensured that Nigeria returned to a disciplined fiscal process, reinforcing the oversight responsibilities entrusted to us. Allow me to highlight a few of these landmark achievements, forged through the synergy between the executive and this chamber. The Not Too Young to Run Act 2018, Electoral Act 2022, the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021, the Police Act of 2020, Nigerian Startup Act 2022, the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act of 2018, Constitutional Amendment in 2023, granting financial autonomy to state legislature and judiciaries and empowering states to generate electricity, further deepen our federalism. The Freedom of Information Act Enforcement Amendment and the Mental Health Act of 2021. Each of these laws, shaped by the deliberations of this House, bear the imprint of Buhari's commitment to institutional reform. Colleagues, let the legacy of President Buhari and whatever disagreements we may hold about his tenure unite us now. In this chamber, where he labored alongside us to build a stronger Nigeria, let us resolve to carry forward his commitment to integrity, his commitment to accountability, his commitment to service.
It is fulfilled in my life, having the opportunity to talk about a man who touched and influenced my life even from the primary school. The passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari on the 13th July 2025 was a profound, irredeemable loss to his family, which lost a beloved patriarch, to the people of Katsina State, and to the northern Nigeria, which lost its most charismatic and enigmatic leader since the Sardauna, and to the Nigerian nation, which has been deprived of the services of a patriotic of the first order.
Mr. Speaker, we will miss our dear President. We will miss his doggedness as a president. He gave so much attention to infrastructural development, which is clearly seen by the construction of so many roads network across the length and breadth of this country.
We are reminded that the measure of a man is not merely in the years he lives, but in the legacy he leaves behind. President Buhari was a patriot, and throughout his life, as an elder statesman and as a leader to all. In his own words, I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody. This singular statement captures the essence of service to Nigeria.
As a young legislator, I did not grow up in his era of military leadership, but I grew up in the long shadow of his reputation, a name that evoked strength, patriotism, and a deep commitment to Nigeria's unity and progress. President Buhari was not perfect, as no man is, but he was principled. He lived simply so that governance could remain sacred. He spoke less, but acted with conviction. And above all, he believed in Nigeria, even when it was hard to do so.
With this remark, I would like to equally commend our former president for coming to our aid in the Northeast by establishing Northeast Development Commission, which is the hope of the whole Northeast that used to be poor of the poorest, even the advent of Boko Haram insurgents. I equally want to commend him for restoring peace in 22 out of 27 local governments of my state that were completely under the occupation of Boko Haram before his assumption of duty.
He believed in true democracy and independence of the legislator. This is the person I can speak so much in terms of how we have allowed the National Assembly to work and Nigerians according to their own conscience and dictates.
Our former leader, Muhammadu Buhari, was a man of discipline. He was a man of integrity. He was a man of courage and a very dogged leader. President Muhammadu Buhari will be remembered for his stance on the rule of law and his commitment to the separation of powers.
Death is something that will come to us all, and it's time for us as leaders to reflect and do what is right by this country. President Buhari had his flaws like we all do, but he will continue to be someone we all look up to, and someone that we would love to live half of his life. As Honorable Martin said, both myself and Shagaya, and maybe Honorable Sesi, I'm not sure, will not be here if he didn't assent to the Not Too Young to Run bill. He also worked on electoral reforms. I will conclude, Mr. Speaker, by saying it was also under President Buhari's guidance that Zamfara State Court literally handed Zamfara to the opposition. And despite pressure, he did not intervene. We will forever love him, we'll forever stand by his legacy, and we will remember his good sides and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive him for any shortcomings he made willingly or unwillingly, and plead with Nigerians to do the same.
I wish to humbly urge us to continue to pray for the repose of the soul of our departed president. And from me and the people of Okigwe North Federal Constituency, may the soul of the late President Buhari and those of the faithful departed rest in peace.
I align myself with all the statements made, all his achievements. The one basic thing is that we cannot but thank him for leading us well. We pray that his soul will rest in eternal peace.
When he was the military head of state, when he was saddled with the challenge of leading this nation, he stated then that it is with humility and a deep sense of responsibility that he accepted that challenge and called to national duty. Mr. Speaker, I want us to remember him with the last words he stated in his maiden broadcast to the nation in 1984, when he said, "This generation of Nigeria, and indeed future generations, have no other country than Nigeria. We shall remain here and salvage it together." Mr. Speaker, I think there is no better time than to reflect on this, that this generation of Nigerians, and indeed future generations, have no other country than Nigeria. May God bless you all. Allah jigan shi da rahama, Allah gafarta masa. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much, my honorable colleagues. Thank you so much on behalf of my people. Thank you, sir.
Diligence, integrity, discipline, selflessness. And that is what he has left for Nigeria, a legacy that is beyond infrastructure, that is beyond all the political talks. We saw him speak it, we saw him live it, And we, as the coming generation, have decided to copy those virtues that makes him a great man that we are proud of, both locally and globally. And again, we say, may his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. That brings us to a close of this section of valedictory speeches to a president that we love so much.